Good morning, everyone. Um, we are going to continue moving on with our social issue unit. And so today what I want to teach you is that readers look for issues in characters' relationships. So as we read today, we're going to be looking at how characters interact with one another and what is that saying about the situation. So part of me thinking about today's lesson, I was thinking back to when this all went down and we were told that we needed to stay home, stay safe, stay home. And one of the neat things about this whole thing is that everyone in my family is home now. Keegan and Morgan are home from college, and Tatum, we all get to sit together at the supper table, which has been kind of nice. It's been a long time since we've all been home and able to do that. And one night, as we were eating, Tatum asked if she could go visit one of her friends. And the whole table kind of looked at her like, are you nuts? Like, the governor just told us we have to stay home, and that means we stay home and we don't get to see anyone. And for some reason, she just really had a crazy reaction. She slammed her hands on the table, threw her chair back, left the supper table, which in our house, you don't leave the supper table without asking for permission. And she stomped up to her room and said, "That's not fair." And so looking at this lesson today and how characters react to something, a scene that something happens where they have this reaction, I kind of looked at Tatum thinking, wow, she is really feeling frustrated. She's really feeling sad. She's feeling lonely. And so as we look at our characters and how they interact with one another or how they have reactions, I want you to realize that strong readers look for how characters react to one another, and in particular, to trouble that happens and that occurs as you're reading. So one of the things that I want to show you today is an anchor chart, and it says readers look for issues in characters' relationships. And the thing that we're focusing on today is strong readers stop when they notice trouble in a scene to ask, what's happening between characters here? What does the reaction tell us about these characters? So as I read, I'm going to read to you a story from First French Kiss. We go back to Will, and this story is called My Side of the Story. And as I read this story, I want you to be looking at Will and his brother's relationship and ask yourselves, what's happening between the two characters here, and what does the reaction tell us about these characters? So here is the story, My Side of the Story. I was sitting at my desk in my bedroom practicing my signature when my brother came in and asked me if I wanted to throw the ball around or shoot baskets. No, I said. So he looked over my shoulder at the signatures, went into the bathroom for a few seconds, came out, went to his own desk, unraveled an entire roll of Scotch tape, and stuck it on my head. Naturally, I was outraged. "What did you do that for?" I asked. It was a stupid question because I knew very well why he had done it. He had done it for the same reason he had stuffed me in the laundry hamper and tied me to a chair with my best ties. He had done it because he was 14 and had the great good fortune to be blessed with a little brother he could bedevil at will. "Try to get it off," he said. This I attempted to do, but he had rubbed the Scotch tape so hard into my scalp that it had become a part of my head. "Let me try," he said. So he tried, and I yowled, and he stopped. Then he gently pulled a piece of the Scotch tape off the side of my head, along with 6 or 7 of my temple hairs. Even at the age of 9, I knew that I had been mightily wronged. Even at 9, I knew that this violated every code of justice and fair play that I had ever been taught. And so, my heart full of righteous rage and indignation, I leaped out of my chair, past my brother, in search of justice. In those days, Justice looked a good deal like my mother. It had lovely brown hair, a warm, enchanting smile, and a soft, understanding voice. It was comforting to know that in a matter of seconds, my mother would hear the evidence, weigh the evidence, and punish my brother. Generally, things were murkier. Generally, I did something by accident, then my brother did something back, and I did something back, and on, until it was impossible to tell who was at fault. But this was the case of a lifetime. And the best part of all was that the evidence was stuck to my head. When I reached my mother's room, I saw the door was closed. For a moment, I hesitated, wondering if she was sleeping. But I was so sure of my case, so convinced of the general rightness of my mission, that I threw the door open, burst into the room, screaming, "Mom, Mom, Skip put..." And then I realized that I was talking to my father, not my mother. We'll read more of that story tomorrow, but at this point, I want you to think about what's happening between the two characters here, Will and Skip, his brother, and what does the reaction tell us about these characters? So how did Will react when the tape got stuck in his head? So today, when I post this in our classwork, there's going to be one sheet of paper, and here it is. And on this document, it has, after listening to my read aloud, my side of the story, please answer the following question. I should put questions. And you are going to actually type right here, what is your response, okay? So type away, what do you think the reaction is, telling us about Will or even his brother. Let's see. Oh, let's try it with, and I kind of did this backwards, but it's okay, it's going to work out. Let's try it with this video called Hair Love. As you're reading or as you're watching the video, can you tell me what is the reaction to the little girl when her dad attempts to do her hair? So let's take a look at this.
Just took a little bit of work and a whole lot of love. Mwah. Are you ready to do this? All right, here we go. See? Now, wasn't that easy?
Okay, so if I were to answer that question, and let me show you how I would do this. Okay, so the question is, what is the little girl's reaction to her father putting a hat on her head, and why do you think she reacted the way she did? The little girl woke up and realized that today was a special day, right? Did you guys notice that there was a heart on the calendar of this particular day? She went to her iPad and searched for a hairstyle. Search for a special hairstyle. The little girl wanted her dad to attempt to put her hair up instead of using a hat, right? After attempting to tame her mane, the dad gave up and placed a hat on the little girl's head. The little girl became very upset and ran out of her room. I think the little girl reacted this way because, for one, today was a special occasion, but I don't know what it is. And two, she was disappointed that her father gave up. Yeah, I mean, and I could be done with that. I could also add a piece of evidence. But as you go into your work today, keeping in mind that you're looking for stopping when you notice trouble between characters, and you ask yourself, what's happening between the characters here? What does the reaction tell us about these characters? As you work in your document today, you need to answer these questions right here. The read aloud, this is the one I'm looking at right now. You need to, if you need to, go back and re-listen to my read aloud and then answer these questions, okay? And you can try to do it kind of, like I did. The little girl woke up, realized that today was a special day. She went to her iPad and searched for a special hairstyle. The little girl wanted her dad to attempt to put her hair up instead of using a hat. After attempting to tame her mane, the dad gave up and placed a hat on the little girl's head. The little girl became very upset. This is her reaction, and ran out of the room. And then I think, so we're trying to push our level of thinking. I think the girl reacted this way because, for one, today was a special occasion. She wanted to look good. And two, she was disappointed that her father gave up. Once you're done responding to that question, these questions right here, then what I would love for you to do is get on Epic. The code is IBE7856, or you can go to the virtual library, go to the Washington Middle School Library. Mrs. Mills has everything right there. But you should be reading every day, just like normal, 30 minutes a day. The goal is to respond with one paragraph. Tell me what book you read, number of pages that you covered. Basically summarize what you read for today and what did you notice about your characters? Did you notice any kind of trouble and how they reacted? What do you think about it? Then journal entry for today is what is one activity you did this weekend? Tell me about it, share it with me. And again, you're trying to give me at least one paragraph. So as I put this in your classwork on Google Classroom, all you have to do is open this document and type right on this document. When you're finished, resubmit it. And I hope it's going to work. So I apologize if my Screencastify debut wasn't very good. I'll keep working on it, you guys. But just to remember today, what you're doing is you're looking for places in your book where there's a little bit of trouble, a little bit of tension, what's happening between the characters here, and what does the reaction tell us about these characters. So, and that's what you're looking for in your own reading today. If you have questions, make sure you email or post them in Google Classroom, and I'll be happy to try and get a hold of you and give you those answers. So stay safe, take care, and I will do the same thing for you tomorrow. See ya.